2024 was a good year for cinema, and we got to see some great movies. Let's talk about it. It is mid-December, so we all know what that means, right? A huge vitamin D deficiency. Yeah. And it is also the time that we look back at the previous year, the last 12 months, and we take inventory. On this channel, that means that we're going to look back at some of the movies we got to see this year and how we liked them. And you know what? After those pandemic years, the Hollywood strikes, 2024 was not bad. I even had a bit of a hard time trying to stick to just 5 movies. So I didn't. I got 6. But that last movie is one I personally did not get to see. That's why I added it. Because so many people are talking about this movie that it kind of deserved an honorable mention. But let's start at the bottom of my list. Beetlejuice. Yeah, that name still makes me nervous. If they ever make a third movie, I'll just settle for Beetlejuice 3. Seriously. But the fact that this movie, that was such a nostalgia trip for me personally, that I enjoyed so much, is at the bottom of my top 5, is very telling about the rest. But really, like I said in my review, while it did not have the same impact on me as the first movie did 20 years ago, Tim Burton managed to stay true to himself over the last few decades. So much so that he brought us a sequel that is much of the same, but with a bit of a twist. It's definitely a movie I'll be rewatching. The second movie on my list is another huge step up. Inside Out 2. The proof that Pixar still has it. And it seems I was not the only one thinking that. This movie outdid the original with quite a big margin. And so did the story, by the way. I mean, the first movie was quite a surprise. I never expected me to react so hard to that movie. I mean, it wasn't Toy Story 3 levels, but still.
Take her to the moon for me. Okay?
For the sequel, I was prepared, but it still got to me. There's just so much to that story that connects with me personally and to my loved ones. You could tell that it was written and performed by people that went through all of that themselves. It felt true. Yet, it was still light. It was still a Pixar movie. It had a huge sense of hope. On top of that, they portrayed all of it in such a genius way. Just the way that they kind of managed to show all of these emotions. It baffled me. It made a lot of sense. And it was funny on top of it. A great movie. The next one on the list is also an animated movie. And this time around from that other powerhouse, DreamWorks. An adaptation of a book by Peter Brown, The Wild Robot. A tremendous cast, a beautiful story. But the one reason I put this over Inside Out is the art direction and the animation. It was gorgeous. Every single frame of it. It was like seeing a very detailed painting coming to life. It was 3D animation with the soul of 2D. Nature and technology mixed together. And a soundtrack that gets you over and over again. What a beautiful movie. I think this is one of the best animated movies we've seen in a long time. It definitely was a highlight of the year. And so was the second movie on the list. Now, I have to be honest, I had some really hefty discussions with myself over this top 2. It wasn't pretty. I'm pretty sure my girlfriend is going to leave me any day. But the thing is, both of these movies deserve to take the top spot for various reasons. Now, the only reason that this movie did not take the top spot is because the story is not done yet. Dune 2. I love Dune. I read the books, I watched the series, I watched the movies, even the David Lynch movie several times. I can't get enough of it. And this rendition by Denis Villeneuve is just perfect, just as I imagined it as a kid when I was reading these books. And I know there's people out there that do not agree with me, that think some parts are missing, that they were not sticking through to the original material, being the books. But I personally have always understood that different media ask for different approaches. You can't tell that whole story in the book, in a film, and not start boring about 90% of your audience. He was not making a movie for the diehard fans. He was introducing that story to a way broader audience, and he succeeded at just that, while still entertaining and managing to woo all of his old school fans. He managed to grab me with that story yet again, and I had that same sense of wonder that I felt when I read the books. There definitely is art in his vision, and I love it. On top of that, the whole visual style, the art direction, ranging from set to props to costumes, it was everything that I was hoping for, and more. And so was the number 1 on my list. But actually in a very, very different way. I actually went to see this movie twice in theaters. The first time in 4D. The most nauseating experience of my life. I swear, the person that invented that whole 4D gimmick should be kicked in the nether regions repeatedly. While we sing Jingle Bells or something, I don't know.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
Anyways, the week after that, I went to see it in a normal theater. A way better experience. Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, I can tell you, that opening scene in 4D, you do not want to go through that. But overall, this movie delivered. And I think it actually set a new course for Marvel. It was clear that a lot was changed after that movie was released. I think the message of what the Marvel audience wants to see in the future came through. Because let's be honest, lately it has been very, very difficult to get excited for anything Marvel. Well, mainly Sony, but still, with the Marvel IP. Yeah, I'm talking about Madame Web and Morbius.
It's Morbin time.
However, Ryan Reynolds and his team, they stepped up. And they showed that the way to do this is with a lot of rock and roll, a lot of humor, and a good dose of cameos. We do love our cameos, don't we? But let's be honest, it's how Taika Waititi and Chris Hemsworth actually saved the Thor movies. We like that our heroes are heroic, but above all, we just want to be entertained. And we don't want them to take themselves too seriously. And if there's one thing Deadpool does not do, then it is taking anything seriously. And the cameos, well, they kind of help to bring in Marvel fans from all over the world. No matter what your taste is, what your favorite hero is out of those thousands of Marvel heroes, there might have been something in there for you. Besides that, there's the old Marvel fans like myself that saw old movies and series that we used to watch come back with the original cast. Just to see Blade again, man. Never expected that to happen. And Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, he retired. No, he didn't. For the next 90 years. But it was glorious. I had a smile on my face throughout that whole movie. Both times. And you know what? I'm going to watch it again. Next week. No, that's Christmas. After that. No, that's New Year. Well, after that. Now, about that extra movie on my list, Wicked. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet, but everybody that has seen it is just so enthusiastic that it makes me think I need to see it for myself. To be honest, the success of this movie was quite unexpected for me personally, but that is definitely on me. I knew the musicals were a big hit, but sometimes that doesn't really translate well to movies. Boy, was I wrong. So I might have to check it out somewhere in the coming days. Next week. Oh no, that's Christmas. The week after that. No, that's New Year. Alright, the week after that. Have I done this before? However, that was my list of 2024. Let me know in the comments which movies are on your list for the last 12 months. Now, after New Year's, I'm going to do a video on which I look forward to the most anticipated movies of 2025. So, make sure to subscribe. For now, however, that was it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. It always helps me out. Maybe check out one of my other videos. But like I said, make sure to subscribe because I'm going to be back with a new video next week. Till then, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye-bye.